Hello, hello, friend. Welcome. I'm Kat, the Nurse Flipper, and it is time to do a weekly sales update. So I will show you 15 things that have sold on eBay in the last week, and I'll show you a few off of Poshmark and Mercari as well. That way you know what is selling right now, so you know what to list or what to look for. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to do this like all wonky because that's how I open the tabs. So I'm going to show you Poshmark first, then we're going to go to eBay, and then we're going to do Mercari. So if you're not cross-posting yet, and you're wondering if you should, I would recommend it if you're wanting more sales and you've been on a single platform for more than a few months, you feel like you're handling it fine. I think it's a good time to cross-post. We use List Perfectly. You can use my code, the Nurse Flipper, get 30% off your first month. And they have the amazing, amazing new AI lister that creates listings from only photos. If you have not seen that video or tried it yourself, do it. It is a game changer. That is all we are using now. So enough about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at Poshmark. Hey, first up, some blue tropical cotton beach palm tree throw pillows. These were unbranded. I paid $2 a piece, so I'm $4 in, and they sold for $24. Payout was $19, so they're about a $15 profit. But pillows don't break, right? Pillows can be put into a poly bag and shipped off. Now, I will tell you, if I sell pillows above $50, I do put them in a box, but like this, I simply put them in a poly bag, and they did not take very long to sell, and I am very happy with that $15 profit. Up next, this was a really good sale. This is a vintage Izod Lacoste zip jacket. This one sold in under 3 months, sold for $49, and I only paid $1. So this is about a $40 profit, sold over on Poshmark. Here you can see all of the photographs. And I might have showed this in the last What Sold video, but it's a good one to remember. So remember Izod Lacoste, definitely keep an eye out for them. And this one was a great profit. Da-na-na-na-na. Go Gators. It is almost football season, and I am so excited. This Nike Team Dry Fit football shirt I picked up for only $1 at the thrift store. Payout was $10, so it's only a $9 profit, but I cannot leave behind a Nike Gators shirt. I just cannot, especially for $1. So $9 profit. Did take a little bit longer to sell. I can tell that because we were not using Smart Sizer yet. Not too long though, just over a few months, and I'll take $9 off of one is not, that's 900% what I paid, and I am happy with that. Next up is this Vera Bradley Chanticleer vintage chicken and eggs bag. So I want to make sure you guys know this pattern because this is one of the few Vera Bradley that I know bring good money. This one sold for $39 in under a month. I only paid $5. So this one is about a $28 profit. And this is a small bag. It's 11 inches by 6 by 6. Watch for the chicken and eggs pattern. It sells very, very well. It is sold very fast for me whenever I found it. This one is faded a little bit, but not too bad. And excellent, excellent sale. $39 on Poshmark in just a few months. All right, that is all I have for Poshmark. And now we are going to take a look at eBay. And I want to tell you, I'm going to show you the back door of my eBay. I had somebody comment on my last What Sold video because we sold $5,000 in a week saying, there's no way she sells this much. Somebody's paying her. No. Guys, I make this much because for 5 years, I have done nothing but list, and research and learn what's selling from videos just like this one. And hard work in equals money out. If you are not getting money out and you're putting hard work in, you need to refine it. You need to make sure you're checking sell-through rate and make sure you're consistently listing. Your pricing should be right. Your pictures should be good and your titles should be on point. So with that said, let's take a look at the back door of eBay. All right, so here's my sales chart. Again, this is the back door of my eBay. I promise you, I do not put the time in to make this stuff up. This is today, $328. Not too bad, but our goal is to hit that $500. You can see we had that crazy, crazy day on Tuesday. And that day just like makes every other day look little, even when it's not. Like, look, this is a $600 day and it looks so tiny. So today we're at $328. For the week, we are at $4,381. For the month, we are at $15,600. The last 90 days, we are over that $40,000 mark, which is beautiful. I would love to get that to $50,000. And we are up 23.1%. So doing excellent on sales. If you are not, keep listing, make sure you're checking sell-through rate, and the sales will come. If you are listing good stuff, you're taking good pictures, they will come, I assure you. So let's take a look at 15 items that sold on eBay this past week to make that $4,300. And then at the end, we're going to take a look at 3 or 4 from Mercari as well. First up is a Lily Pulitzer floral mosaic. This is a stained glass skirt, and I got that all from Google Lens that let me know exactly what that pattern was called. This one sold for a best offer of $32.50. This one was just listed this month. So this sold in under a month for $32.50. I paid $5 for it. So it's about a $22 to $23 profit. Very fast sell-through rate on the majority of Lily Pulitzer. Definitely something you want to keep an eye out for. This one is a size 6, so not horrible on the size. You can see the photos. Here's our Smart Sizer. You guys ask all the time. So Smart Sizer is an app only available on the iPhone. You can see the logo right here, and you take a picture and it does your measurements. I would tell you use common sense if they seem like they're off. Double check. We did some testing with them and have found that they are accurate for us. I would advise you to do the same for your items. And amazing, amazing sale. Lily Pulitzer is definitely a name you want to remember. Next up, if you watch me, you have seen these plates over and over and over. This time it was 2 that sold, and they sold for $34.98, full price. For the 2, I am $2 in, so that makes them about a $27 profit. They were listed back in October, but we have made hundreds of dollars off of these plates. You can see here they are charger plates, just shy of 13 inches. Here is the back. So you might ask how I knew they're Pier 1. These I actually bought from an individual. I was able to ask them where they purchased them. So that is how I knew they were Pier 1. Now you might be able to determine by Google Lens, or of course if the stickers are still on. But if you buy them at a yard sale, ask them, because a lot of people remember where they bought them. I do very, very well with Pier 1 products. Next are these vintage Bavaria favorite Uno hand-painted nut butter pats, set of 6. They were made in Germany. These guys took longer to sell. They took over a year. They sold for an offer I sent off $34.99, so half off, but I only paid $2 originally. So when I have items over a year, I will send out offers of 50% off. These are still a $30 profit. So they took over a year, but we made a good profit, and they are tiny. As you see, they were only 3 inches. So amazing sale, but definitely probably something that I would pass if I came upon these again. Next up is a teacup. This is a Pink Roses Gold Gilt. This is a Stanley brand teacup. This one sold for a full price of $27.99. This one was listed back in May, so it took 2 months to sell. I want to caution you guys that might watch my research videos. Not all teacups are valuable, and as a matter of fact, the majority of them are not, no matter how pretty they are. You need to look up the pattern. You need to look up the maker. So while this is a gorgeous, look at, this is a beautiful teacup, it was only worth $27. So I got this for about $5. So it's about a $15 profit, sold in 2 months, but I bought it with a lot of higher end teacups. But if it's over $25, I will still list it individually. And yeah, so just beware, just because they're pretty does not always mean they are worth money. Next up, if you do not know, Ralph Lauren, and almost everything sells. So these Ralph Lauren sheets sold for an offer I sent out of $27.29. I sent them 30% off because they were listed back in November, but I only paid $2. So they are about a $22 profit after fees. sheets are easy to photograph. They are easy to list. You can see here, this is folded in half. So we do not necessarily put them on a bed. We do not necessarily take them fully laid out. The big thing is that you know the size and that you are able to show them the pattern. So here you can see this one was a twin size. So we knew the size. We did still show measurements, but the big thing is knowing the size and being able to show the pattern. You don't necessarily have to show that whole sheet laid out if it is a continuous pattern. Next up, this is a laptop. I got a lot of 5 of them. I intended to plug them in, charge them, test them, and I said, they have been sitting here for over 6 months. I'm listing them as is. So you can see this is an HP Stream 2 gig. I put read. I am less than $5 into this thing. Sold it for a best offer of $20, and it sold in 2 days. I could not plug it in. I can't test it. I don't know if Windows is on it. You can see it says used, not tested. I put read because I wanted them to know that. I know absolutely nothing about this computer. Sold as is and sold in 1 day. Next up, this one is so pretty. This one was listed back in February. And so it took a few months to sell, close to actually 5 months to sell. Sold for a best offer of $30. And I only paid a couple. It was in an auction lot. Here it is hanging. You can see I did choose to put the close-up picture first because that shows more detail, but I also show it hanging as well. So I only paid a couple bucks. So this is a $25 profit. It's a really, really neat piece. And you can see the mosaics and the beads inlaid. Definitely really cool handmade piece and good profit, but took a little bit longer to sell. Next up are some more linens. And if you know me, you know I love picking up linens. These are Waverly. And the only way I knew that was from Google Lens identifying the pattern as a Waverly pattern. So this is a set of 7. They sold for full price and they were listed for 2 months. So I paid $3 for these at the thrift store, making them about a $24 profit after fees. Here you can see we show the individual. The back was the stripe, but again, Google Lens is your friend. Use it if you can identify those patterns, identify like Pier 1 pillows, Waverly napkins, Waverly curtains. They sell for good money and 2 months is not very long, and linens are so easy to ship. Next up is this really cool vintage wool Aztec rug. It is smaller. It's 15 inches by 44. This one was listed back in April, so it did take 3 months to sell. I only paid $5. I got it in a big auction lot. So it is about a $32 to $33 profit in 3 months. And again, it's a linen item. It's not going to break. You can see here the photos, gorgeous runner, and amazing sale that did not take too long. Next up is another laptop. I just wanted to show you this. I'm not going to click through the pictures. We listed them separately. They were actually the same model, but this one had some Jordan stickers on it. And this one sold for full price of $25 in only a day as well. So if you come across laptops cheap at the thrift store, and when I say cheap, I mean like $5 or less, I would pick them up because people will pick them up for parts or repair. The lace is still selling. It is still selling. And this one sold for a best offer of $40. I sold it for that because I have had it for a while. All of the lace was actually listed back in January. So it's been about 6 months. So I'm very negotiable on those rates. And took the $40. We do put length unknown. I assume this is probably over 100 yards. It is a lot of lace. And the person I got this from was a lingerie maker. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. So really pretty white with yellow trim, and sold for $40. I'm only a couple dollars in. It is over $30 profit. But again, it did take 6 months to sell. Up next is a beautiful size 9 leopard jasper ring. This one was listed a while. So it was listed a year. And this is another one, because it was listed a year, I sent a half off offer. But I originally was only $5 into this. So I'm still making over $20 and I'm getting an item that has been in my store for a year out. Now, the cool thing with this one, you can see it is signed by the artist there, but I also had the note because this came from an estate lot and it says leopard stone from Africa set in sterling. And so I do put that in because that is the backstory with this. You know, somebody's handwritten note from an estate and it provides some provenance for that buyer. And $20 profit, again, longer tail item that I am happy to see go. All right, we have got a few more items on eBay, and by that I mean 3, and then we're going to take a look at a few on Mercari, and then we'll be done. This is another thing of lace that also, again, 6 months to sell. This one sold for $32. I wanted to show you more because it sells, and if you can find it cheap, I bought totes of it from an online estate auction. If you can find lace, it is pretty, you can describe it, it will sell. So watch for lace. It is a little bit longer tail, so you do need room. Keep that in mind, but I would pick up lots of lace if I found it again. I am so proud of myself for this thing. I picked this dress up. I've just recently started looking at dresses and picking up dresses, and this one sold in a month for full price, $45.49. I got this at the thrift store for $5 because it was boutique, because it was new. So it is about a $32 profit in a month. How amazing is that? I am so proud of this. You can see we are showing. So my thrift store marks with a red marker if it's boutique. I just show it. I'm not going to try and mark that out more, but I do want to show that that is there in my pictures. And that's all I do. And I have not had any issues. A lot of people ask me on my thrifting videos over on my Cat's Treasure Hunting channel what I do. I don't do anything. I just show a picture of it. I leave it. It's not going to show when they wear it. It's not on the outside. And I have not had any complaints. Last up for eBay, before we head on over to Mercari for a few more, is this really cool apron. So this is the dog stealing the sausage. I didn't know what else to call it. I did put vintage, adult humor, and retro. This one was listed back in February, so it took 5 months to sell. It sold for $17. I'm only $1 in, so it's about a $14 profit. This was so freaking cute. And I think I tried to sell this for like $2 or $3 on Whatnot and nobody bought it. So I listed it on eBay, sold for $17. So not a bad profit. But again, with a lot of the vintage linens as well as jewelry, they are longer tail. So my only cautionary statement to those of you that like this stuff is make sure you have the space to store it, because it can take a little bit longer to sell. We are going to head on over to Mercari, and we're going to start with this one. This is a vintage 1988 West Virginia license plate tag. Sold for $14.94. If you do not know yet, if you have not heard me say it, Mercari does not charge fees. They charge the buyer the fees, not the seller. So I paid $1 for this. It is a $13.94 profit. We know that because there are no fees. And it sold in 3 months. So I am more than happy to sell my lower cost items over on Mercari because there are no fees. And this one took about 3 months. Some of the license plates can take a little longer as well, but they do not take up a ton of space. And next on Mercari is a Victoria's Secret pink robe. So this one I picked up for $1 at my little local thrift store. Everything is $1 except boutique, which is typically new items. Paid $1. It sold for $16 on Mercari. I had it listed for $19.49 on eBay, but with no fees, I'm a little more negotiable on what I'll take on Mercari. So this is a $15 profit. It was listed back in May, so it took about 2 months to sell. All right, the last item for this video is this men's Columbia vintage fishing shirt. It is the same story as a robe. Paid $1. accepted a lower offer than I probably would have on eBay. This was just posted back in July, though, like this month on the 9th. So it took about 3 weeks to sell, but I paid $1 is an $18 profit. If you have lower cost stuff, Mercari is definitely a platform I would check out. As my last video entailed, if you did not see it, Mercari's return policy is only 3 days. So if they do not return in 3 days, you are good to go, which is nice compared to having to wait 30 days or longer on other platforms. But this one, I am happy with that $18 in only 3 weeks. All right, friend, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have been having a wonderful week thus far. I hope you enjoyed the podcast last night. If you do not know and you have not come, we have a live podcast every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And sometimes I give away things, and sometimes those things are worth a lot of money. I gave away a free thermal printer at the last one, and we give away other things too that resellers can use. So make sure you come over to the podcast Tuesday nights. I appreciate you watching this video. Let me know what your favorite or most shocking thing that I sold this week was, and I will see you on the next one.